Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Gin and Tonic Show in its new place in the time slot 1800 UTC. And it seems that I somehow missed it. So I'm just going to start on my own because I'm not sure, because I can't see him active anywhere. So I'll just have to hope for the best that he's going to join in a few moments. So welcome to the Gin and Tonic Show. The Gin and Tonic Show is a weekly call-in show where we are discussing Islam. So what we're trying to do is get some information out to people. We're going to try and get information in from people. What we try and do is get a dialogue and discussions that I'm hoping that there will be some rational discussions. So what are we doing here? We're looking at one item that jumped at me was that Reuters reported that Muslims are protesting in the streets, you know, like in the good old days, demonstrating that they are outraged. So once again, we have Muslims in the street and they're outraged. Are they outraged that Daesh is killing people? No. Are they outraged that Muslims are killing anybody? No. Are they outraged? No. It's just the Charlie Hebdo killings. They still don't like that there are media, that there are newspapers, that there are media outlets, that there are people who dare draw pictures of Muhammad, even though nobody knows what. What I'm sorry, I've still got the aftermath of the cold. That's why I've still got a bit of a throat issue. So that somebody dares draw Muhammad, even though nobody knows what Muhammad looks like, and nobody really knows if that cartoon is actually Muhammad. It could be anybody. So anyway, they still go on a rampage and demonstrate their peaceful religion. No, of course, they were protesting the drawings. And this is far more deserving of outrage than Muslims killing news editors, which I find strange. I would think that, okay, let me just draw a quick analogy here. If I'm a member of the Ferrari Owners Club, and one of the members was an asshole, and he, you know, like we're driving around town, and then he suddenly accelerates to 100 just because he can, all right? And then he just misses a bicycle or something like this. Now I'm going to go to see, this is the stupid call. So I'm going to go to that guy and I'm going to tell him off, and I'm going to tell him, listen, this is not the way to behave. You are part of the Ferrari Owners Club, and this is not the way to behave. It's dangerous. Stop doing that immediately. And I'm going to do that in public, and I'm going to tell this person. I'm not going to go to him and say, well, you know, there's a piece of paper, which is the Ferrari Owners Club manual, and in there it says you're not supposed. No, I'm not going to hide behind a book or a piece of paper or something. I'm going to go to that person, and I am going to confront that person because he is part of the group, the Ferrari Owners Club. And because I am part of that group, he is damaging the reputation for all of us, and that is why I will go there and confront him. So I will take ownership, and I will go and sort out the entire condition. Now, why can't Muslims do this? Muslims say, we are peaceful. Then a Muslim comes along who's not peaceful, who then goes and kills some people, and then they protest the reason the guy killed somebody else. I mean, that's not the way to do it. I mean, you can't protest the reason why a Muslim killed somebody when you're at the same time trying to tell them that you are a peaceful person. It doesn't work that way. So this is why I'm saying Muslims need to take ownership. They need to go and they need to say, look, you Muslims, you Daesh, you Boko Haram, you Al-Shabaab, you I don't know who else this is, all the groups, stop doing this. There is reason in the Quran to say that you should be peaceful, that you should not be doing this, that you are sinning against your God. And I don't understand why Muslims are not doing this. Hello, Abu Molid. Let me just quickly go through the news and then we can talk. Or is it something that you want to contribute to this specific topic?
No, just talk. I just joined. I don't know. Maybe you have new roles also. So don't bother about me.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I'll just continue and then we'll talk later. All right. So if their God is not capable of doing anything and is waiting for doomsday, then Muslims have to act, and they have to act now. Killing and then protesting whatever they don't like is not the way to do it. And then, who the fuck cares what others consider to be sacred? I can make fun of ideas and stupid ideologies as much as I want. I criticize US capitalism, and I criticize the same way as I criticize Islamic Sharia, because I think it's stupid. And that's what free speech is all about. And if Muslims feel the need to avenge or stand up for a guy called Muhammad, it's their problem, not mine. And please, you can't insult something or someone who can't feel insulted. It's that easy. And now, okay, I need to address, I didn't actually want to, but an atheist killed 3 Muslims. I mean, this is, and there's now media out of it. Well, if Daesh is Islamic, is this killing atheistic? I don't even know whether this is a serious question. I mean, it's stupid, it's ignorant. Because if we look at the facts, we have 3 students who were shot dead by 1 man. And the victims were students, 2 female, dressed in conservative Muslim covering, and a man, and that's all. Those are the facts. Now, every normal human will condemn this person for what he did, right? Killing another person is not acceptable under like almost all circumstances. There's no excuse for these killings or any way this can be understood or rationalized or whatever. I mean, if you execute, it looks like he executed them. If you execute 3 people, I mean, you must be a deranged killer. And even though atheists are statistically less likely to kill or condone killings, it's not an ideology or worldview, but it doesn't make an atheist immune from this. But I don't know, it's just killing somebody is not because you are an atheist, it's just one of many personality traits, which is what I tried to explain earlier. And what we don't know, at least I don't know, why this guy felt he should kill 3 people. Now, there's somebody who says, also a media outlet, that this was over some parking dispute, that these people parked their cars somewhere where they shouldn't have, and this guy got so mad that he eventually killed them. Okay. I have not heard anything convincing about a motive yet, all right? So I don't have any statement. I know the guy turned himself in. He did not run away. He did not kill any policemen. He didn't do anything else. He just turned himself in and said, okay, it was me to blame, but I don't, but there's nothing what he says. Maybe we'll get something tomorrow. And the question is, apart from being a person, what is a typical atheist? I mean, does this mean that more atheists will now kill believers, like Daesh killed non-Muslims? Or, no, come on. I mean, Daesh follow commands, all right, instructions and leadership as presented in Islamic texts and condoned by the Islamic God and so on. The atheist is someone who does not believe what a theist believes, namely that there are gods. So there's no atheistic holy book or any commands or role models. It's a philosophical description. So there's no paper that tells me I need to kill non-believers. Whereas with Muslims, it's a different story. So I don't have any pluses or minuses telling me anything about anything else. So there's no prophets, no gods, anything that I should listen to. So the guy who is unstable and violent, I mean, can you blame this on a missing belief? It could be that he became obsessed with Muslims, absolutely. And his own personality then led to a violent crime. Absolutely possible, yes. And in this case, the part of his personality which led him to reject the beliefs held by theists could be called instrumental, yes. But it's not the driving force here. And just to make this clear, it's difficult for Muslims to condemn other Muslims who commit an act. And I will do the opposite, and I vehemently, strongly, and absolutely, categorically condemn any person, regardless whether it's an atheist or not, including each and every person who physically harms another human being. And I am disgusted and feel only contempt for this man. And it doesn't matter whether he's an atheist or not. It's just another human being who went wild. But atheists go a little bit further, okay? Because I mean, these were students, all right? Okay, they only helped Muslims, but who cares? I mean, the man who was killed was helping Daesh victims, all right? So there's an altruistic streak here. So and he was helping refugee kids there, okay? So there's a foundation beyond belief where they opened a fund, okay, open to continue helping those the shooting victim helped. Because there is some sort of responsibility here, saying, okay, a human being shot somebody else, and these people that were shot were helping other humans. So let's see if we can continue with this. So I wish Muslims would be as supportive as atheists are. So atheists opened up a fund, and I'll put the link in the description box after the show, which is the Chapel Hill shooting drive, where people can donate, and this money will go towards the Daesh victims, towards the kids in Syria who can get treated there. So, and why is this not, and I've made some notes here now, why is this not a terrorist action? Because a terrorist or terrorist action is the use of violence and threats to intimidate or coerce, especially for political purposes. Now, the Charlie Hebdo killings were this. A guy going to their neighbors because they parked their car wrong and then killing them is not for political purposes. The next definition that I found is the systematic use of violence and intimidation to achieve some goal. Now, there is no goal, there is no political whatever goal or any kind of feature in this. Then it says, acts of violence committed by groups that view themselves as victimized by some notable historical wrong. Although these groups have no formal connection with governments, they usually have the financial and moral backing of sympathetic governments. Typically, they stage unexpected attacks on civilian targets, including embassies and airliners, with the aim of sowing fear and confusion. So this is also not a terrorist act, what this guy did. Then it's an anxiety-inspiring method of repeated violent action employed by semi-clandestine individual, group, or state actors for idiosyncratic criminal or political reasons, whereby, in contrast to assassination, the direct targets of violence are not the main targets. And this, I think, is important because it's civilians here, and the target of the violence is not the actual target which is being addressed, which also does not make this a terrorist action. And then finally, another definition is criminal acts intended or calculated to provoke a state of terror in the general public. A group of persons or particular persons for political purposes are in any circumstance unjustifiable, whatever the considerations of a political, philosophical, ideological, racial, ethnic, religious, or any other nature that may be invoked to justify them. And we don't have that either. So the people calling for the treatment of the Chapel Hill killings, the executions there, to be classified as a terroristic act, which requires the same coverage in the media, is stupid. I mean, that's really ridiculous. So I think this settles it once and for all. And then, of course, yesterday in Copenhagen, I mean, I don't know. I got up and I said, no, please, not again. I don't believe it. How can anybody now start? I mean, we've just had this in Sydney, and now a guy starts firing on people in Copenhagen during a free speech event. And because there was the artist Lars Vilks who was there, because he's also drawn some caricatures. And again, somebody shoots at civilians, and a civilian gets shot who has nothing to do with this. And now, the shooter apparently was shot as well. So this is, oh goodness, I cannot believe that this is happening again. This for me is simply too much. So I don't even want to go into this. I don't want to go into all these violent things that Muslims are doing, really, because it's futile, because then you spend the whole time just talking about this. I'd rather mention that Alchemia, this sounds quite good, a new lifestyle channel is opening, and is now collecting funds. And this Alchemia is going to show positive and nice Muslims. It's a lifestyle channel, all right? And they're ignoring the fact that you can't soften up terrorism and whitewash the ideology, the bad ideas behind Islam. And you can't ignore that they need reform, not a paint job. But at least Al-Qamiyya is something which is demonstrating that you can be positive with this religion, with this religious ideology, with this political ideology, with whatever you want to call it. But you can be positive. You can be nicer than just it was in Riyadh or in Tehran, I can't remember, where they said, no, this is not, Islam is not about having fun. You are being tested, and it's supposed to be miserable here on earth, and then you get to heaven, and then you can party, but not here on earth. And Al-Qamiyya is showing, no, 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 no. We Muslims are normal people in the 21st century. We can have fun here and now. Like the, like the happy people, the happy video, that was brilliant. And then, of course, you have the exact opposite again, where you have the anti-Valentine reaction. And what caught me by surprise this time, it's not only Muslims, it's not only the traditional Islamic places. No, you also have this like in India by some Hindus, or in Japan. Come on, people. Yes, it's a commercial thing, but it's got a nice touch. It's providing people with an excuse to simply show their affection towards someone else. What is so wrong with that? It's not worshipping. I mean, people are okay with buying guns. Why not roses and cards? I don't understand what the outrage is when it comes to anti-St. Valentine reaction. Just because it's got a saint in front of it or something. I don't remember. Now, finally, oh no, there's two more. Remember I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned a freak winter storm over the Middle East, which brought snow even to places like Oman and the northern places of the United Arab Emirates. Well, kids enjoyed it, all right? But now there's a sheikh, Mohammed Saleh Munajid, a prominent Saudi cleric, and he was not amused. He said people must not build any snowmen or snow models of animals. This is in the Gulf News, and he issued a fatwa. He says the practice is not acceptable to Islam. And this is exactly the spoilsport that I was talking about earlier. And this fatwa says, well, it's a religious ruling, okay? So you don't have to accept it, either you do or you don't, which is against sculptures, suggesting instead lifeless forms. So you could make a sculpture of a boat or a fruit, but not like one guy did of a camel. And he did it so well with snow. I mean, this was brilliant. Because a snowman can have the shape of a human, because you could put eyes in there, and a carrot as a nose, and then you could worship it, and you could bow down to the snow. No, come on. But Muslims reject this, and he had to backpedal. So are we seeing democracy now within Islam, when Muslims are saying, listen, you're a stupid idiot, go and play somewhere else and stuff your fatwa where nobody can see it, where the sun don't shine or something? This is too funny. Anyway, then we have the Saudi blogger who was jailed for inciting public opinion, critical remarks towards the religious police in Saudi. He has been lashed 50 times for his crimes against Sharia. And his sentence of 10 years and 1,000 lashes is, I mean, this is a humanitarian disaster. And it shows how a country claiming to be run under the rule of Sharia is unfit for the morality prevailing today in the 21st century. I mean, this is so inhumane. It is so lacking compassion. It is so way beyond anything to hit somebody publicly because he made some critical remarks about the religious police. I mean, anyway. And finally, very, very finally, what I said before, there's a new channel, and one of our viewers made me aware of this, and this channel is called Interfaithless. And what fascinated me so much about this is that they had 4 Muslims who left Islam, and then very personal, I mean, they share their very personal emotions and their very personal stories behind what prompted them and what drove them away from Islam. And there's 4 people, and they are completely different. So there is no common factor which drives people away from Islam. But all right, normally it's the contents of the Quran. But they all have their different drivers, which made them think about this. And like the one woman says, look, I couldn't understand that I was worshipping a God who made me look at my parents who were non-Muslims, that I would then watch them in horror as they were being tormented in hell. And this God thought that this was a good idea. And this is what drove her away when then she looked at the Quran a little bit more critical, and then saw all the stupidity in the book. And this is the point, because and this is why Muslims are told never, ever, ever to think critically. Muslims are kept away from knowledge. Knowledge is haram in Islam. The only knowledge that you're allowed to have is the knowledge about the Quran and God, but not the outside world. And as soon as that fails, people leave Islam. So thinking clearly made a very, very good statement, and I'm going to give. Oh, and I need to say thank you to one of our viewers who provided me with some brilliant hadiths. So the hadith of the week are going to be provided by him. So I'm just going to read them later on. And thinking clearly made a very good statement, which I think I should read here to Muslims. You are better than the God you fear. Your own mind has more power than the limited vision of your God. Please be better than your faith. You have it in you. That's brilliant. This is so nice, and this explains exactly what I am thinking. There's no point in bashing Islam. There's no point in being angry with Muslims. It's just that you can be better than the God that you fear, and that is what is important. Okay, so then let me go and take the Hangout link, click on live link, click on all comments. Oh, there already have been some comments. I haven't had time. You see, this is the problem. If you're alone, you don't have time for any of these things. So I am going to enter this here. So if you want to come and chat and talk and comment or criticize or whatever, then go and contact us. But remember, you make your point, make your comment or something, and then you may excuse yourself again, and then we will discuss this. So Abu Molid, you were the first. Are you back again? Do you want to make a comment, question, or what?
No. Maybe I can. I mean, are we supposed to go on the show and then log out again, or is it just a phone?
Yes, please, if you would. Because otherwise we're going to have the situation that we have 15 people here and then it gets a little bit too much.
Okay. Actually, I haven't thought about anything.
Because look, if you have a question or you have something, then just go and say it, and then leave again. And then if you think of something else, you can always come back. This is not the point. I just don't want to have 15 people here all talking on top of each other. If there's a specific point. Oh shit! And I see Ahmad is here as well. So I don't know if this is going to work. So if you can just sort of, did you have anything specific?
No. Maybe I can say yes. I mean. This thing that happened in Copenhagen now.
Yes.
I mean,
you live close nearby or somewhere in the region, right?
Yes. So I don't know what I should say, but I just find it. I remember when people say that there is no predictability between certain acts and certain ideologies, and I just see it happen again and again and again, and I don't know what I should say. That's my comment.
It's true, actually. It's true. Yeah, because there's not a lot that you can say, but it's just sad. That's all you can say. I agree with you. Yeah. Okay, and I've seen now in the comments that Ike now posted the links. Oh, I was right. My memory was only partially clouded. So the one is Hangout Godless CH, and the other one is Live Godless CH. So you don't need to go through all the other rigmarole. Just type in hangout.godless.ch and you can automatically listen. All right. So Abu, whenever you have something, come back. Okay, Ahmad, this is not what we're going to. We're not going to have a repeat of what happened this morning. You have one statement, one comment, and then you're out again. Okay? Do you understand that?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
No, I'm not Ahmed from before.
Oh, okay, great, brilliant. Yes,
Yeah,
I was doing a face palm here already. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So I made a comment from before.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing about myself now.
Yeah, I know.
This is
I have
too
the same name. Yeah, there are about a billion Ahmeds.
Yeah, but there's
So
so few that actually contact us here, and you don't have an avatar or something, so I thought it's the same thing. All right, I'm sorry. I apologize. What did you?
it's okay. No, I made a comment before. I wanted to join the conversation with Ahmed before, but I couldn't get in. So I posted a comment saying, "Can I join?" And you said you can join later on the main show, and so I did.
Great. So did you have? And I forgot to ask Abu whether he's okay with the new time slot. Do you have a comment? Do you have a question, or do you have anything related to Islam?
Yeah, a lot, but I specifically wanted to join in with Ahmed about what he said. But if you don't want to go back to that, it's okay.
No. If you want to make a comment about that, you're welcome to do so. I just don't want to spend 1 hour now talking about the one point.
Yeah, it's quick. Yani, he said about who is Arabic and who is not, because that's an issue. The consensus now is whoever speaks Arabic is considered an Arab. So there's an Arab League, which is an organization, international organization. It consists now of 23 states. Whatever state, even I think Somali is one of them, or Somali. I don't know how it's said in English. Even though they are not, of course, Arabs, or they don't even speak, but they vowed, I think, to make Arabic their official language. So that's the case now. Any state that makes Arabic the official language, or has people who speak Arabic, could be considered an Arab state. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay. So what does that mean? Do you? Okay. I have a problem with calling Morocco an Arab state, because
they themselves have a problem with that, by the way.
Okay, because this is where I
say there are different ethnicities, and some of them consider themselves, I think, Berber, but they call it different. I forgot what they called it, but they speak Arabic, most of them. But some of them even loathe to be called Arabic or Arab. So they also are not clear about that, but they're considered Arabic by all other Arab states.
Okay. And then, I mean, if I look at the Arabic spoken in Morocco, for example, it's quite significantly different to the Arabic spoken in Oman, for example.
Yeah.
And even the Arabic spoken in Syria. So when colleagues,
Morocco and Tunisia and Algeria, the three of them are heavily influenced by French. So
exactly.
That's why.
Yes.
But it's still Arabic, but it was different dialects and different. But this is a minor issue. I wanted to and also about the one with the verse with the girls and so on. He got it wrong on one thing, but he got it right on the other. Of course, it's what he said, al-bagha. He said it's not prostitution. It is prostitution by almost even Lisan al-Arab, which he said. I read it in Arabic to make sure it's. Every word in Arabic has like 100 meanings. There are unpopular meanings and there are popular meanings which are used. The most popular meaning is prostitution, and it's used regularly. So
yes,
it
is what I believe.
Yeah, but what you said about if they do it, they are forgiven, then it's not actually the case. It's talking here about the girls themselves. So it's said basically that you are if they force you to do these acts or to fornicate or whatever, then it's okay. You're not sinful and you are forgiven to the girl.
Right.
But of course, the person who forces them is of course sinful. So that's what I wanted to say.
But why do you think so?
Because that was a word like 1500 years ago. That should be like a zero sum, or what can I say? It's a normal, very, very, very normal. In fact, it would be abnormal if he said otherwise. It's because it's considered like strange. Of course, you can have slaves and you have sex with them and all that.
Okay, because I don't really see this. Because if we go back to this, it says, but if someone forces them, God will forgive them. It doesn't say that this will be the girls or the guys.
Yeah, but it's not as clear as it's in Arabic. I got law school. Yeah, I got a law school in Egypt, and you are forced, or it's not forced actually. It's Sharia law is not as bad as of course in civil aspects. It's actually a quite advanced law. Pushing aside criminal law and all that, it has contract law and all, and so we studied it for 4 years in college.
Wow.
And this verse was one of the ones we studied, and of course it's 99% of people understand it as it's a girl, and that's what matters. It's consensus in all states is that the girls are the ones who are not to blame here.
Okay, so but then what you are saying, this is the human interpretation of this sentence?
No, it's what would anyone understand from reading it just once. It's the simplest understanding. Anything is interpreted. What I'm saying right now, you're interpreting what I say, but it's the most logical interpretation.
Okay, I don't see the logics behind it, because it says both. Because it says on the one hand, the men can be forgiven, or it says the girls can be forgiven, but it doesn't specify which one of them, or maybe even both.
Yeah.
This is why I'm wondering if there is any reference that you know of that will clarify this.
Of course, you got to understand one thing. These verses are meant to be poetic in Arabic, so
okay.
it's not written for super clarification or for it to be very, very clear. It's written that it can rhyme and it sound good, and it sounds very good when you hear it in Arabic. So that's what you must understand. So they are best understood when they are in Arabic. And sometimes the sequence of it doesn't make sense because it's meant to be musical. So in this case here, if he had clarified it very well like you want, it wouldn't have been as beautiful or as musical. That's all. But it's further understood. Yeah.
If your afterlife for eternity is hanging on this, I think it should be more clear than beautiful. At least I would like.
Yeah. Of course. But as I said. It's 99% of people, none of them understood it as girls. And that's what counts. They were the ones who forms scholars, who forms schools of thought and so on, all understood it as that, and so it became the law that. And it doesn't matter in any case because it's a spiritual sin, and so I don't think he would be punished physically or legally. It's like in the afterlife or something, so it's not actually very important, but it's still like he condemns it.
Okay, but what you are saying makes logical sense as well, because then it says, okay, if the girls are forced into prostitution, then God is not going to hold it against you because you were forced into it.
Of course.
Right. Then it could be that it makes sense. I mean, even if it doesn't say that. I mean, but I would be able to follow that kind of argumentation that it makes sense.
That is the most most agreed upon.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you for the clarification. I'll keep that in mind the next time somebody talks about that sentence.
Of course.
Thank you very much. If you want to join again, please do so. Thank you for the contribution. That was most helpful.
Okay.
All right, Arash, welcome. Are you
Hi. I have good excuses this time. Well, it's my
Oh,
first time.
okay. Your grandmother died, and you were on the way to the hospital, and she gave birth to twins.
And then something else happened, so I had to deal with 2 deaths. Actually, here in the U.S., we have had some crazy snow here, like
Oh, really?
very bad. And I had to go give a ride to someone, and I got stuck.
Oh, shit.
And honestly, it was my stupidity. Maybe I should not have thought that a 4-wheel drive can go in the snow like that. But anyway, I'm here. I'm very sorry.
Brilliant, because there was a question for you, but it's true. We have a lot of interest. So before we did, because TJ was here before, and okay, I did not put this in the news because I thought it was a little bit too stupid. Because TJ, are you back now? Is TJ? Yeah, TJ is back. Do you want to tell the story about the slow death and the fast death?
Are you talking about the link I posted, right?
Yeah.
I thought you might like that. No. So basically, the Islamic State is beheading people for smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol. And I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't imagine my life without alcohol. So, but apparently, this is happening, I believe, in Raqqa. Yeah, in Raqqa, and they're saying that there's a public ban on alcohol, cigarettes, and anybody caught smoking is publicly publicly flogged, handed handed huge fines.
When was this?
This was posted on February 14th on Valentine's Day of all days.
Oh no, just because I've heard this happen a lot actually recently, like in the last couple of years. Islamic State, first of all, has been banning cigarettes and alcohol before they were called Islamic State. So a few of these jihadis, like even the Nusra Front, has banned cigarettes. But it's hilarious because you find cigarette butts every time.
Yeah, but this is not the banning. This is now that they are beheading people for smoking.
Yeah, exactly.
They're beheading people. I mean, I've heard about that. They just beat them and they punish them.
No. This is now about the slow death and the fast death. This is the hilarious side.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I mean, yeah. So you either get flogged, you get fined, or you even get reportedly executed for it. So I guess it depends on what kind of.
So they'll execute you quickly with a beheading if you smoke cigarettes. But if you're a bad guy, they'll burn you to death.
Or
that smoking cigarettes is a slow death, and you are killing others along with it, and that's what's helping you along.
Oh my God. Yeah. Have you guys seen the Kurdish people they have in cages? They're going to burn soon.
Oh God, are you serious?
I mean, they should. This is so sick.
They have like, I don't know, maybe it's like 8 or 9. I only saw a few because it was like a short video, but they have them in cages. They're parading them around like it's like a medieval type of thing in Raqqa, and they're just dressed just like the other guy, Kasaspa, orange jumpsuit in a cage. They're going to burn him soon, so. Oh my,
Oh, yes.
Anyway, guys, I just thought, I'm sorry I'm late. I don't know if I missed the beginning of the show, but did you talk about the news this week?
Yeah. I did from the first 15-20 minutes. Yeah.
So we covered the terrorist attack and the anti-Muslim attack.
The anti and the the one in. Okay, there's a couple. I did Copenhagen, and I nearly said Sugar Hill Gang. The American atheists who killed the Muslims. Do
you want to speak about this at all?
Yes, I'd like to address this a little bit later. I just want to get through the beginning here. Because
I also had some things on Aisha. If you wanted me, I don't have to do it this time. I can wait until next time.
No. This is one of the topics. This is why I'm glad that you came, because I thought, okay, what am I going to do with this? So it's brilliant that you came along. That we can do this in the second half to talk about Aisha's age in Shias. Okay, so this was TJ with his smoking. Ike, what do you have?
Hello. I just want to ask Ahmad or Ahmad, however your name is spelled. I have to go a little bit back again to this verse he talked about it has to make only sense if logical sense about it has to rhyme in Arabic, it has to sound nice, etc. No, I can't see that because if you want to something to rhyme, to sound only good, you can also look that up in Homer's Ilias or the Odyssey. There you can find real good rhymes, etc. So I don't see these things in the Quran, because it is a legal thing. In a story which rhymes itself repeatedly, it is not a legal thing. It has only the value of rhythmic and poetic and prosa. So I don't agree with this.
I would agree with you right now, because I think a lot of people bring up this poetic piece of it, but it's not a poetry book. There's so many better poetry books out there, but they bring this out like it's some kind of miracle. Hey, this is a law and religious book, and it also rhymes. Like, it's, but it's mostly just repetitive,
And it doesn't always rhymes. That's also a fact. You see some verses.
Most of the rhyming is repetitive, right? It's like Allahu Akbar, and then something that rhymes with Akbar, but because of the grammatics in Arabic, it rhymes because they're describing the same thing. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's it's not even trying to rhyme almost.
To bring it back to Homer's works and the Ilias and the Odyssey.
Yeah,
I mean, these scriptures are so powerful and also very violent. That's the point. If it's only about the story, it can still be very violent, but still poetic. So I don't see that in the Quran. Just my 2 cents about this point. Thank you.
Yeah, your voice is very unclear, but I don't know if I'm the only one experiencing technical difficulties or something. But can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you can actually hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so about the poetic stuff or so, is there in Arabic there are poetry? Okay, so these are in lines, and they have different or some type of form, and there are what's called nasr. This is supposed to be what you write, and what this is the default form for when you write an essay or write an article or something like that. So what is said always that the Quran is supposed to be something in between. So it's not actually poetry, and it's not actually nasr or default writing or normal writing. It's supposed to be like normal writing, but it actually also sounds beautiful or stuff like that. But it's not like every line there will be rhymes or there will be something. No, it's not to be considered like that. And the Quran is in a lot of parts are very repetitive, but you also have to understand it has been the Quran has been given in 23 years. It has been invented, or if you believe in it, it's have been given by God in about a period of 23 years. And so in the first 10 years, there were no, or 13 years, there were no laws to be passed. There were no rules to be passed. It was in Mecca. Muhammad was persecuted. All the people that were persecuted, and so all the verses had to do with paradise and patience and Mahatma Gandhi stuff and stuff like that, and peaceful tolerance. Afterwards, he migrated, and so in the stuff like that. And in the after that, the 10 years in Medina, he had to form a community, society in Medina, and so he couldn't focus on rhymes and stuff like that. He had to pass down a law on succession, for instance, or divorce or marriage, and so he had to shove it aside and talk real sense. And this one is the first, I think, in Medina, I think. So it's not always gonna be rhyme or gonna be beautiful, but some parts of it are gonna be so. And it's all a matter of preference, really. It's subjective, very subjective. You might find it praise, you might not find that. So it's not a strong argument. but I found it to be quite entertaining. It's not the best thing, but it's quite good.
Okay,
In
but
Arabic, at least.
I have two little questions. The first one will be, you are talking about it is supposedly to be this and that. How you can know that what it's supposed to be? That just an opinion. That means nothing.
I struggle to hear you. You're saying.
Are you the only one, or?
No. You're coming. Both of you are coming through fine. Ahmed, what Ike is asking is if you have a God, and you are saying that this was revealed over 23 years, and it's intended to be this, and it's intended to be. How do you know all of this?
I don't know. That's what's said. Don't know exactly.
Yeah, but you said it is supposed to be. So you claim something to know. So what is it that makes you?
It's not. I'm talking about. No. I was when I said supposed to be. I'm talking about. Most Muslims, by the way, has never read the Quran, and the people who do will find it beautiful because they must find it beautiful. But it's not my point. I was talking about when he was coming up with this, or he, it's almost obligated, and I'm not even joking. And no one will force them to, but they will be forced.
Because they're Muslim and they believe, therefore they see this.
Of course, and so it's a matter of it's fundamental that you believe it's beautiful. It doesn't matter if you're a Muslim, it must be beautiful. I was talking about when he was, if you believe in it, it was revealed to him, or he came up with this stuff anyway. That there were different needs. In the first 13 years, he didn't need to come up with legalization or legislation, I mean, and so he focused on rhymes, and this is where you find very short chapters at the last of the Quran at the end, and when he needed to come up with certain legislations, and so it had to be less poetic, and it had to be to the point. But he also made it concise in a lot of cases, and that's where all the problems come up with ambiguity and so on, is that he had to make it concise and had to make it some sort, or even has a hint of poetry in it.
Okay, and my second question would be exactly about this point. Because you see verses that rhyme and that are prosa or poetics in both periods. So this claim of you it's also just nonsense, I have to say, because you see both things in both periods. Not in one period a little bit more of this or that. That's clear to see, yes. But not in both. It is not that clear that in both is just one a legal period and the other is like a spiritual period. That is nonsense.
Yeah, it's actually not nonsense at all. It's actually quite. You can research it by yourself, but it's not. I'm not saying that the first period was beautiful and the second period was hideous or whatever. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that even if he wanted to, he couldn't make it quite as concise and quite and musical or so on, and he had to come up with certain legislation and say it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, and I'm not passing judgments on either.
I think
I'm not saying that this is beautiful or this is not. It's a matter of personal opinion. And by the way, you're never going to find it beautiful because you don't speak the language, and so it's going to be difficult for you to see how it's.
That's also nonsense. That's nonsense because many who hear the Quran say, Muslims who hear the Quran say it's beautiful, but have no idea what the word means. So that's also
you
nonsense.
don't know. You don't need to know. By the way, I don't speak a word of German, but I like very much to listen to German rock. I don't understand.
Yeah, but you right now you contradict yourself. Just 1 minute ago you said you never will find it beautiful because you don't speak it. And now you're talking me. You don't need to know what it means. What now?
Yeah, I
I-
agree. Yeah. I might
Sorry.
contradict myself here. I am sorry, but what I'm saying is, you are not going to read it in Arabic. That's what I mean. And so you're not going to. But if someone read it to you in Arabic, for instance, and you weren't, what can I say? You weren't so ready to consider it as ugly or real. I'm sorry, I'm struggling here because this is my first time speaking English to a person who doesn't speak Arabic at all. But what I'm trying to say here is that
And how you know I don't speak Arabic?
I
You're
heard the
making claims
conversation. You
here.
said you're from. No, you said you're from Switzerland, and you said you don't speak Arabic. Or did I understand it incorrectly?
But okay, if I can just take
mean
this
in the past,
somewhere
could be,
separate
but
from
not in
the
this
screen
show.
right now.
But by the way, I'm not.
Hey.
I think you understand me wrong here. I'm not trying to defend something.
Yeah.
Some,
I think
some
we're
position.
debating about wrong issues right now. I think what Ahmad is
Yeah,
trying to
I
say
agree.
that it sounds beautiful if you understood Arabic or if you would hear it.
Not
spoken
understood.
to you
Hear
with
it.
a normal
That's
Arabic
what I'm
accent.
saying.
But I think we should
Can
get
I
away
ask
from
you-
this. I think we should get away from the what it sounds and the poetic thing, but more what he said earlier about.
But can I ask a question here? Has anyone here read the Quran in Arabic or heard it in Arabic for extended periods of time?
Yes, I have many times.
Yeah, in Arabic, in someone read it to you and
I've read it in Arabic. I've read it read to me in
Yeah.
Arabic. You know, I went to.
You didn't find it anything special, right?
I mean, nothing special. The only thing that was interesting for me was the small amounts of, like the small pieces that rhymed. But then I realized this is actually a grammatic thing. It's actually a grammatic thing, like I was telling you earlier, because
how's that?
like when you want to write a speech in Arabic, you'll find that they will rhyme, because when you want to describe someone, like let's just say like wazn, it comes in the weight of, for example, mufa'il. So the term mufa'il is used in that sound for different words. So you'll see one like muqatil rhymes with
mufa'il.
like something else. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying that they
Guys,
could mean completely different else.
Where is this going? What are we doing now? Are we really discussing now words in Arabic?
Yes, yeah. That's what I was just going to say. Let's get away from this and let's get back to one little point that he said. He said that Muhammad would, or not Muhammad, but the Quran would come in parts where it was needed. What is this noise in the background, first of all, right now?
That's what I want to know.
I don't have any noise in the background.
Do you still hear noise?
Nope.
Not anymore.
Okay. What are we talking about at the moment? I don't want to spend the whole show on one sentence now.
Yes, exactly. I'm sorry. I get distracted. But I think the best thing to maybe take the talk to right now is these ideas came into Muhammad little by little as they were necessary. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. By the way, this sentence that you said is believed both by Muslims and non-Muslims.
That it came in little by little?
Yeah, and not only that, but it came as needed.
Okay, yes, exactly. So if this is
whoa, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the standard Islamic narrative at the moment, that the Quran was revealed sentence by sentence via some angel who came zooming down, found the guy in the cave, and then gave everything piecemeal, and people believe this? You say?
Yes. What I'm saying is, how come that this angel came in every time Muhammad needed something? Maybe it was something related to his wife. Maybe something related.
Who believes this? I want to clarify this. Who believes
this? Muslims do believe that. It's
all Muslims or some Muslims?
I
mean, not always was it Gabriel. Sometimes it just came through.
There's no one thing you can say that all Muslims agree upon. You can find nothing that all Muslims agree upon except maybe the Shahada. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah is maybe the only thing that they agree upon. But what I mean here, what I mean by that, is that it's considered in a lot of schools of thought as something that's considered to be an expression of God's mercy, that He didn't. And this may not make sense for a lot of people, but that's what's always said. It's considered to be as needed when the Prophet encountered a problem that needed guidance, then the voice of heaven would respond and stuff like that.
And he would find that. But who? We're talking about who believes this.
And most Muslims,
I think most Muslims would accept this.
Because I know many Muslims who don't even believe that.
Really?
Understand that this is just this is just a story to make it plausible. This is just one of the versions.
So how do they believe it came in?
No, a lot of people say we don't know how the Quran started.
No. By the way,
I've never met a Muslim who didn't believe that part.
Exactly.
There's plenty. I mean, just go to the forums. Do you know how many there are who say no, we don't believe that? There is no evidence for this.
No, I studied Sharia law for a lot of time, and I've met with a lot of people who know a lot about this stuff more than I do. I never heard, even from an average Muslim or less than average Muslim.
I agree with that.
Something like
it might be that these forums will attract some very liberal, changing Muslims who are totally going against.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've never heard of this. Even Shias, even people who in Iran who I don't consider them to be Muslim, but they consider themselves to be Muslim and they accept the Quran. They drink, but they also pray. Believe this part.
What, everybody believes that the Quran was revealed piecemeal over 23 years?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a consensus, by the way. That's a consensus.
I think this is the parts we have to go in. What is the consensus of the Islamic leadership on this? What are the ulama?
The consensus is that
clerics saying? And I think that's what's important here, not what the people think.
Yeah, of course. And the overwhelming consensus here is that it has been passed down into over 23 years. That's
right.
Overwhelming
and
consensus.
I think that's what we have to criticize right now. That's what we have to open. Do you agree with what I'm saying, Stop?
Not necessarily, yeah.
Well, I don't think that it's important what the ulema says. I think it's important what the ummah says. I think if the people don't agree with what the scholars say, it doesn't matter what the scholars say. It's what happens at the bottom, at the ground level, at the end of the day. This is what matters.
I agree with you, but in this case, I'm saying that I think that the bottom actually agrees with the ulema. Like maybe if you've seen some people in certain, I've never... in all of my life,
hang on.
Never seen someone who...
We need to differentiate. I always talk about this as well because I accept it. I didn't say it is true, but I accept. I mean, I also accept that Muhammad existed. We don't know whether he existed, but I accept it. Otherwise, we can't talk. I also
mean, maybe
accept
that is
there's
the
a
case.
God because
Maybe.
Otherwise, we don't have any basis for any kind of discussion.
I personally think they don't think about it. If they're Muslim and they accept being Muslim, and they've heard, okay, this was passed down little by little. Okay, it was passed down. I don't need more thinking.
Okay, then let's say we all accept this. For the time being, we accept it. Just for
actually, it's considered to be a good thing. Actually,
let's for the debate. Let's just accept that it was passed down through 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
I don't think it's matters.
We're talking about one sentence and why the Quran is beautiful, or what are we talking about?
I was gonna say because we always get stuck. Let's just pretend that the Quran was passed down little by little throughout the time. The reason I'm saying this is because a lot of the things I'm going to talk about Aisha has a lot to do with Quranic things being passed down that only have to do with the sex life. So it's very interesting how they.
All right, then let's keep that. We're past that. We've said we accept this, and now what are we talking about once we've accepted this? What is the point now? What we're trying to make?
The point is, let's open up. Let's be critical about the point that what are the instances that different verses came in, and what was the situation surrounding that verse, and let's see if it makes sense. Because I would argue that most of them are so obviously made up by Muhammad to serve his own purposes that they could have completely not been in the Quran and have nothing to do with the Ummah. But most of these ridiculous things that we see have to do with Muhammad's own problems. Like, for example, something to do with Aisha and his problems in bed. And then all of a sudden he goes in and comes out with something God said. And Aisha herself is like, wow, this is so convenient how God always helps you when you're in need like this. So I think this is interesting to be critical about.
Okay, Ahmad, are we addressing this? Have we finished addressing this point now?
What do you mean? Which point?
No, the one with the Quran, because this is what we're still stuck on. Because now I would like to.
I don't know.
I don't think we're stuck on anything anymore. I think we're gonna just.
Are we done, Ahmad? Are we done with your point that you were raising?
No, actually, it's not my point. As a Swiss guy was the one who asked the question. I don't.
Yeah, he asked you the question why you said this.
Yeah.
You just wanted clarification, and you've clarified.
Yeah,
So
that's
Guys,
good,
if we could have you.
whatever you want to talk about.
If you want to get
into the next one, now, I just want to know whether we still need to address something that you specifically raised.
You can talk about whatever you want. I don't.
Okay, then we will say goodbye to you and say thank you very much, and you can join again.
If you have something specific to talk about, you can come back and ask to be online again, and that's true for anyone. But we're just here right now trying to take away, trying to see what people's points are one by one.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Goodbye.
Thanks, Ahmad.
Thank you very much.
Okay, TJ, what you had the second one that you added with the Islamic State or the Daesh is chopping off women's hands for using cell phones. Do you want to add to that, or is that just a remark?
Yeah, I mean, I can just elaborate a little bit. I mean, apparently this is happening in Mosul, which is in northern Iraq. They're saying that 5 women have been flogged for using their cell phones, and then they said that some other women have been executed, have been beheaded for using cell phones. So, just another interesting tidbit, if you will.
Wow. No, it's actually amazing what they come up with. I wonder what it's going to be next. Is it going to be chopping off your throat if you dare breathe too heavy or something like that?
I don't think there's anything worse than burning to death, man. I don't know how they can outdo themselves.
Yeah, man. You know, immolation I think is pretty bad. But I'm actually curious to know like what happens like if like you listen to music. I wonder what are they gonna chop up your ears or something?
Oh yeah. I'm sure it's very illegal to listen to music. Only music that has no instruments is allowed. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is kind of, I mean, it's kind of hard. But no, but coming back to your guys' point of, about the consensus of scholars, even the 4 schools of jurisprudence cannot agree on the definition of that. I think the Arabic term is ijma, if I remember correctly, for consensus of scholars. Yeah. Shafi says that it has to be every single Muslim within the within the entire world has to agree with the same. Has to have the same, the same type of opinion, for it to be a binding consensus. The Maliki school says that it's only the companions and the direct descendants of the companions, and that's only in the time of Medina. And then the other scholars, Hanafi, Hanbali, and Zahiri, say that it's only includes the companions and excluding other generations that follow them. So the consensus itself is not binding because nobody knows what exactly
the groups. And that pretty much defines the groups themselves about how they think about it. How you just categorize them is exactly where they think the line is cut about where the Khalifa ends. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, because if
it's directly connected, actually, yeah.
Exactly, because so if somebody's a Shafi, who follows the Shafi school, they have to get every single Muslim to actually agree with them for it to be a binding consensus, which is ridiculous. Which is absolutely ridiculous.
Does that mean that they're never agreeing to anything, or nothing is set in stone? Because of course that never happens. So what do they do? I mean, so nothing is set in stone for them?
I guess, but apparently for them, I know for them specifically the Shafi school, that female genital mutilation is actually it's compulsory. That's why if you go to Egypt, which follows the Shafi school majority, I think it's about 90% of women have had female genital mutilation done on them. So
90% or 100%? You said so. It's like a majority of Muslims then. No.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
And
so
I think in Saudi Arabia they follow the Hanbali school of thought, and Hanbali school they only look at the Prophet's example. I think that's it. I don't think they even go by the companions. I think it's just straight Prophet and Sunnah. So that's why you can see why they have like the most, I guess you could say, authentic form of Islam. I mean, they're chopping off people's heads. As we speak. So and stoning people for committing adultery. So
where is this?
Saudi Arabia. I believe that they follow the Hanbali school of thought. So yeah. So I mean, it just I mean, but as far as I know, all schools of thought are binding. They have a doctrine of warfare against unbelievers. So the goal of Islam, I mean, as Stopspamming always pointed out, I think the true goal of Islam is jihad and to establish Sharia, a worldwide. Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't stop with Saudi Arabia. That's why Islam is not just for one section of the world; it's for the entire world. So I think that's a distinguishing factor. I think for most other religions, in my
Very
opinion.
true. Absolutely, yeah. And this is always what I point out when somebody says, "Yeah, but they're all the same." No, they're not. I mean, this is exactly the point.
Yeah.
People like.
Okay. Is that it?
Yep, that's it for me.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, TJ. And if you have more of these things, please don't bring them here because you make me laugh, and then I need to cough. I'm not ready for that yet. But that's brilliant. Thank you very much. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Thanks.
Take care, guys.
And now I don't know who was next. Was it Apollo or Alasa?
Me? I'm in?
Go for it.
Hey, good day, guys. Good to be back.
Hey, we missed you. I mean, I had to go and find all my own hadiths and stuff, and now you're going to deliver it. Okay, do you have a point now, and you want to come back later for the hadith, or do you want to do something different?
Yeah, I just heard the guy say about the timings of revelations. Whenever Muhammad was in a situation, he got revelation right away. I just want to...
Hang on, I thought you were going to tell us about your holiday, whether you went diving or skiing or snow skiing or water skiing or what it was.
Well, I spent time on the beach, on a great hotel, on a 5-star hotel, on a resort, hot sun, hot chicks, hot bikinis, 10 days.
You're not supposed to look at those. You're going to pluck your eyes out.
Well, I did the
you can look at them if you have good intentions. So look at them consistently.
Good intention. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, carry on.
No, I just want to touch the bases on that, how odd that is. Like, Muhammad has an adopted son Ziyad ibn Muhammad, correct?
Zaid.
Okay, yeah.
He adopted him. He was his adopted son.
Yes.
He was a slave. He freed
the
him.
one whose wife he later married.
Correct. Later on, he married Zainab. And when he seen Zainab, then Allah sent a revelation that Muhammad must marry Zainab.
The mother of the boy.
Yeah. The wife of his adopted son. And that's when Allah sent a revelation that...
Wait, what? Wife of the adopted son?
Yeah, Zainab was Ziyad's wife. Right? You know the story?
I thought Zainab was... Okay, I guess not. So you're saying that he adopted the boy...
Do you know the story or no?
No, please go ahead.
Yes, of course. Hang on. We know the story.
Well, he had a wife. Zainab was Ziyad's wife. So they say one day Muhammad went to his house and the door was ajar.
And she was wearing a hot bikini, yeah.
Exactly. She was sleazily dressed, and he made a pass, something like "Glory to these who turn heads" or something like that. And then he went away. And then he went away. When Ziyad came back, she says, well, the Prophet was here. He said, why didn't you ask him to come in? Well, she said, I did, but this is what he said. And at that time, Ziyad realized that he's interested in her. So he went back to Muhammad and he said that, you know, I love you, and if you want to marry her, you can marry her. And Muhammad said, no, keep thy wife and fear Allah. And that's when the revelation of Quran came down, that, you know, Prophet, when you told Ziyad, keep your wife and fear Allah, you hid your desire, and you can't hide anything from us. You know what, we know what you're up to, and you did that because you fear people. You should not fear people. You should only fear Allah. And that's when the God ordered them that you got to marry Zainab. We give our hand in marriage to thee of Zainab, and Allah's command must be fulfilled. You got no choice.
See, this is a perfect example of what we were talking about earlier, right?
So now here's the problem. Now, after this, Allah also sent a revelation forbidding adoption. He said, well, you cannot call your sons, your adopted sons, as your own. You can feed them, you can have a foster relationship with them, but you cannot have call them their own. Now, the dilemma in this is when Muhammad adopted Ziyad a couple of years back, Allah never looked in his Quran and say, hey, that's wrong. You shouldn't adopt your son. You can't adopt your son. But Allah only sent a revelation after he married. Why didn't Allah send a revelation when Muhammad adopted Ziyad?
Because it was the justification for marrying your son's daughter-in-law. No, your own daughter-in-law. There you go.
Exactly.
So this is where I was confused. I didn't realize that he adopted the husband of Zainab. I knew the story about Zainab. I thought that the guy just said, I love you and here's my wife. I didn't realize that he adopted the guy and then the Quran came out. This is...
Oh, yeah.
No. He was the adopted son. Because remember, Muhammad is said he lost all his normal sons because he didn't have children. Okay. The thing is, in the beginning, when he was still potent, he had kids with, you know, in the beginning.
Wait, so I'm sorry, do we agree that he wasn't potent at the end?
Well, this is my thing. It's quite strange that in the end he did not have any more children. It was only in the beginning, but he lost all his sons, and so he adopted a son, and then the son married this beautiful woman that Muhammad had the hots for. Only then did the adopted son divorce his wife, and then the revelation apparently was sent down saying, yes, Muhammad is in his rights to marry the wife of an adopted son.
Yeah, there's another revelation that was quite odd.
I missed what Allah said.
Allah sent a revelation about wudu, ritual cleaning, with water, you know, 3 times this and that. And that was it. And then one time they were traveling from Medina to Mecca, and they stopped for some rest, and Aisha lost her necklace. And it was time to go, and she said, I'm not leaving without my necklace. My father gave it to me. So they started looking, can't find it. Now the gang of Muslims were saying that, look, we got to move. Otherwise, we will not reach the next water hole for prayers. And she just refused to go. And then Muhammad saw that everybody's getting upset. He came up with the revelation that if you cannot find water, you can clean yourself with the clean dirt. And those 2 revelations came not together. but you know, like Allah could have said, okay, you know, clean yourself with water.
Hey, that's interesting because I was going to use this story about Aisha and the necklace. Is there any other revelation that comes during this time?
Well, the only revelation he came with is if there is no water, you can clean it with the clean dirt. But soon after that, the camel got up and she found the necklace underneath the camel. But that's when the revelation.
Yeah.
I mean, you figure Allah would say, if there's no water, clean yourself with clean dirt.
I mean, no one's thinking about, okay, what do we drink? Forget the cleaning.
Well, they're not concerned about drinking. I mean, if you don't drink for a long time, you're not going to go to hell. If you don't clean yourself and pray, that's punishment is deadly. That's why people were getting punchy. Hey, we got to go pray. Otherwise, you know, there's going to be punishment.
Okay. Thank you, Alasa.
All right, Alassa, then we'll let you go, and then we get to Polly. Otherwise, we'll never get through all the stories. And then what? You're going to come in later again and give us the hadith.
I'm gonna
Remember, I still have the Aisha thing to go through.
Just 1 second. I'll give out my hadith maybe next week. I will listen to your show about Shias and Sunnis. I just want to share something for 10 minutes, but I'll do it next week. I'll come and deliver my hadith at the end this week.
If you could help us, maybe come at the end of this show and bring a good hadith about during Aisha and to support the story that we'll come up with. Real quick.
Well, like what kind of hadith?
Something that is related. I'll come to the hadiths. I'll explain a few hadiths, but I won't say them exactly. Maybe you could post them in the YouTube comments.
Well, I got a whole collection of them saved on the WordPad. I'll see if I can find a related one. Otherwise, I have to look.
Anything that's related, whatever you think is good is good.
Okay. Regarding Aisha, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, yes. Thank you.
Okay. I'll find it. All right.
Okay, Polly, sorry for keep you waiting so long.
Okay, yeah. So my question was, see, I'm in university right now, and the amount of political correctness here is just insane.
Oh my God! Tell me about it, my friend. I just graduated. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's just there was a guy who wrote an article in our school newspaper criticizing Islam, and they branded him as a racist. They distributed flyers with this picture calling him a racist and a white supremacist.
This is exactly, I mean, I don't want to sound like a Fox News guy right now, but this is exactly the tools that these liberals, I don't want to label it again because I think I'm a liberal, but that's what these liberals do to shame everything that comes up. Everything that happens, he's a racist, he's a white supremacist, and he hates all, even though Muslim's not a race. How do you even, this is a great question of how do we get into, you need a popular enough leader that everyone can support to say something so no one can shame him. No matter how much.
Sorry, yeah, I was going to say,
Continue.
I assume everyone here knows about Surat An-Nisa ayat number 3, where it says that I think that's it, where it says that if your wife's disobedient, you can hit her.
No, that's 34.
Oh, that's 34. Okay.
Don't be bringing wrong hadiths here, bro. No,
no, that's Quran.
No, that's
wrong surahs here. I mean, wrong. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. So I sent that. A guy sent a video of a guy explaining that. It's called "How to Beat Your Wife" to one of these.
Yes. I've seen.
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah, and I told him, okay, so if this came from a white person, you would be outraged. Why is it that when it comes from a Muslim, why the double standard that it's sort of more okay if it comes from a Muslim than it is coming from a white person? And we're talking about beating your wife, and the guy got angry at me and told me he's like on the far left, and he told me I was using whitewashed feminism to justify imperialism. I mean, and this is something as severe as beating your wife. I mean, and he says essentially that I was an imperialist because I think that I'm criticizing them, and it's just insane.
I hate these words that we can throw around right now, even though, I mean, everyone does. It's when you want to shut someone up, you're like, oh, you're an imperialist, because now the cool thing is to be anti-American imperialism.
I am, though. I am against American imperialism, but I haven't, in fact, I don't even support Israel. But I haven't.
Exactly, that's the funny part. Same with me. We're liberal compared to other people, but yet we're being labeled as these Nazis almost, right?
Yeah.
I'm against Israel. I'm against Islam. I am. I'm not against Israel. I think they're doing a lot of mistakes. They're going to bring their own demise from within with all the things that they're doing. But You know,
But hang on, guys. Why are we throwing around labels? I don't think it's right to throw around labels. I think
but that's how they
Israel-
label you. And I'm just saying that some of these might be true and they might be wrong, but labels don't give anything out.
Exactly,
No.
and because Israelis are doing a lot of wrong and they're doing a lot of right. The same as Muslims are doing a lot of wrong and they're doing a lot of right. So you can't,
Right.
you know.
I mean, no. When we say Israel, we're talking about when we say Israel right now, we're talking about the position that Israel government right now has on the Palestinian issue and
But
making
they don't
more.
have. They're all over the show.
I mean, they're over the show, but they're still building settlements.
Yeah, this is the whole point. And then they're tearing them down again, and then they're putting them up
They're
again
doing
and
more
taking
building
them
than
down.
tearing
This is a lot of
down.
nonsense.
They're doing a lot more building than they are tearing down. And the thing is, when they build, they're already displacing people. The point of the settlements is to displace Palestinians.
To set a precedent, absolutely.
I mean, I mean, I'm not, you know, I don't believe, if you really want to think about it, Jordan has the majority of the Palestinians. That's a Palestinian state. You know, Palestinians can go to Jordan, it's a Palestine. I'm just saying that the people who are living there should not be displaced. We're getting into politics again. We shouldn't be getting into this.
It is true. But these labels tend to do this.
Yes, and he's right about the being politically correct. And, you know, that's why, which university did you go to?
It's in New
If you
York.
don't mind. New York. Perfect. I'm more west than that. I have been doing I went around my the university that I just graduated from, and I posted a bunch of Zusui Charlie papers.
Yeah.
With a picture of just a picture of the front screen on it with the Muhammad saying, you know, the last page, and I didn't put any email on it, nothing, just a bunch of those. And I went back a week later. Most of them were gone, but some of them weren't, you know. And that's what you got to do. You just got to fight against it like this. I plan on going again and doing more. Just anonymously putting just things that are okay to say, but get Muslims really mad. Just to bring up the conversation.
As a provocateur or what?
Like Muhammad as a pig?
Exactly. Just to bring up the conversation, really. I want there to be a conversation in my old school to say, can we do this or not?
Yeah, well, and actually, on the day of the Charlie Hebdo thing, I talked about, you know, I was commenting on one of my friend's posts, and I said that, you know, this is the sort of victim blaming, like blaming the rape victim for the clothes she was wearing at the time. And then this woman comments and rants angrily saying that's not the case because it's victim blaming happens to groups that are socially marginalized. And so victim blaming doesn't apply in this case because the white men of Charlie and women of Charlie Hebdo weren't socially marginalized groups. So therefore, this sort of thing, the power dynamics are different, and therefore this sort of thing is, it's implying that this sort of thing is more acceptable, since they're...
Which it is not, and it's as though it changes anything. Exactly.
Craziest argument I've heard for that. Oh my God.
She was on the far left too. I mean,
So it was a her. I was thinking, is this a she? Why? Why
Okay,
would
guys,
she be defending
can we stop
women's
this?
rights like this?
Interesting, but if we carry on like this, we're never going to get to the topic of Aisha.
That is very true.
oh yeah, Aisha's age. He was. Some people say
Thank
she
you,
was.
Paulie. Or I'm sorry. Did you have something to say still?
Oh yeah, some people say she was 19.
Yeah.
Actually, I was
going
going
to
to
talk about that just now. We're trying to get there.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant that people are showing an interest and that we've got callers and that there's issues which we need to address. I think I'm very happy about that. I think next time if we have a topic, I think we should do that in the beginning so that we don't have a situation now when people are interested and then we have to, you know, cut it off and say, listen, we need to first do this. So
we can even throw the Aisha thing maybe another time if you want. I have that video of how to beat your wife. I was going to put on the live show at the end of the show just real quick. It's like a 2-minute video or something.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do that later if you want.
So can I join the conversation here?
Yeah, well, what do you have to contribute? Let's make it quick so we can still talk about Aisha.
Yeah, okay. You can talk about Aisha if you want. I just wanted to.
Yeah, but if
There's
you are there, then
time.
you have some issues, and we're never going to get there. Okay, so
Yeah.
what issue, what point do you want to raise?
The same point about because I hear it a lot, and I was interested in I feel that all perspectives are not expressed here, or that you all find difficulty in understanding why this reaction when someone criticizes Islam or something like that.
We don't have
And,
any problem understanding it at all.
Yeah, you don't.
You see, here's the thing, though, Ahmed. I used to be an ex-Muslim, and I come from a place where a lot of people I know are coming from your side, so they don't think it's okay. So I do get a lot of that argument.
I actually don't think. I actually don't think it's a bad thing to criticize the religion as a whole. What I'm trying to say here is what was mentioned here about power dynamics is actually right. I think here you may find it odd or something like that. I think when you have a minority group, first of all, when this issue is not important to the Arabic or Muslim world, as it is important for you as a point of freedom of speech. You should be able to criticize whatever religion you want. That's the point of having a free society. But what I'm talking about here is that when you have a minority group like 2% or 3% or something, when you criticize them or criticize their beliefs, you feel like you are sort of beating on a helpless victim here, or like an already marginalized victim. It's not like when you criticize, for instance, when you criticize black people, it also has the same kind of visceral reaction to it. It's
but
as opposed to yeah,
I'm
as
sorry,
opposed to Christianity or something like that. It's the majority of people have Christian beliefs. It's not likely that they may be oppressed. It's not likely that there are red states in which Christian people are oppressed or something, as happens to Muslims. That's what I'm trying to say.
But the thing is,
I don't understand what you are trying to say.
Well, he's trying to say that it's not right to say things about minorities, which are such a small percentage, because it helps them to be more put to the side.
But it's about ideas, not people.
Exactly. Listen, Ahmed, when some people are 3% somewhere, they're 90% somewhere else. So you can't just say this.
Yeah.
Ideas
Yeah,
are
that's what. Yeah,
Christians were marginalized in Iraq and Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I agree. I have difficulty expressing myself because English is not my first language. But
no, this is not the point. Ahmed, why can't you just say in just one sentence, what is your point, just in one sentence?
The same point here I'm trying to say, why is criticizing Islam is seen as something like that's wrong, or it's not liberal, or it's a conservative thing.
Let me tell you what.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Let me tell you what. Spam, is it okay if we put the next show about...
We can...
I don't mind. I was just trying to be a little bit more structured so that we have a topic.
I agree with
we're
you.
talking about this, but this is the first show, so I'm flexible. I don't have to do anything.
We can postpone my issue if you want. It's okay.
If you would allow,
I can join next Sunday if you want. It's okay.
If you could come there and bring your point, because we will focus more on this idea of Charlie Hebdo, what happened in Copenhagen, and even what happened in America with the atheist shooting. And we'll say if there's any... That would be nice. Thank you.
It's okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I think we should maybe... We have less than 20 minutes, I would say. Are we going to extend this stop, or what do you think?
Well, I don't really mind. The thing is that we are then diving into the MSS and the other shows which I would like to avoid because I don't want to interfere with them.
Right. Well, I mean, this is the first show, but I think that we should definitely start with the... Anyway, Polly, do you still have a point that you were going to make?
I'm just going to ask this, and maybe you can address this afterwards. How do you think that they would feel these people on the far left would feel if they were talking to a white person who was a Muslim who held these views. I mean, I just want to. What do you think would? Because I don't know. They think that they conflate it so often with race that I don't know. I would like to see how.
I think they're very confused, and I think actually this is something we can talk about next episode as well. Just how people react and how they defend the attackers because they think they're being marginalized or whatever. So, but I agree with you, man. I agree, and hopefully at the end I'll show that video you're talking about, just so people know what we're saying.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks. But stop. We are getting more American viewers. Just
brilliant. Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's becoming now a luxury problem of managing it.
Yeah. So do you want to just dive into this? Do you want to start by
the question that was posed is there a difference in the view regarding Aisha between Sunnis and Shias? Because we all know the stories from the Sunnah, where this young girl who is the daughter of a friend of Muhammad, Muhammad went to his friend, saw the little baby, and said, I'm going to marry her one day. And then Abu Bakr said, no, she's promised to someone else. And he says, no, I'm the Prophet, so I have first choice on anything. And then a couple of years later, when she was 6, he said, okay, it's time to get married, so I'm going to marry your daughter. Then he married Aisha, and then 3 years later, when he was 54, he had sex with her for the first time. And then he died, and she lived happily ever after and became one of the most revered people, almost like Virgin Mary for the Christians. This is what Aisha, the RA, the respected person, and so on, is for the Sunnis. And now, is there a difference between the Sunnis and the Shias? And what kind of stories do you know of regarding Aisha?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. There's a big difference about how they view and some of the stories that they take. Now, again, I'm going to need you to help me structure this stuff, because I might get into these random tangents. I'll try not to. I've got notes. So now, I've been reading a few different sources from Shias, reading into what they're saying. Some of it is from Iraq. So when I say Shia, now we have to realize there's a huge majority in Iraq. There's a large population of Shias in Iraq, which they have a center of. This is where the marja is. So Sistani is the marja right now. This is where the biggest Ayatollah, you could say the most popular Ayatollah in the world for the Shias is Sistani, living in Iraq right now. There's another one living in Qum. So you have two different centers for Islamic, pretty much jurisprudence and learning, right? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, yes.
Okay, so for the viewers, I hope they know what I'm saying now. This is from Iraq, so this is a and the Shias in Iraq are a lot more open than the Shias in Iran, because the Shias in Qom are they talk a lot more close to the lines of Ayatollah Khamenei because of the government regulations there, which is different. So we're going to focus more on the Shias of Iraq right now, which is the most popular kinds of Shia and isn't regulated by a government, so it's easier to talk about this kind of Shia. Now, and it's the most popular growing kind of Shia because it's this kind of Shiism doesn't believe, like Sistani Shiism kind of disagrees with the Iranian type of Shiism or the Khamenei type of Shiism, where they say the clerics have to have a power. Sistani doesn't think clerics have to have power. They don't believe that any power can be legitimate until the Mahdi comes. So until then, you know what I'm saying? So they just have to stay as clerics.
Who's the Mahdi?
The Mahdi, the end guy, the Messiah.
But I thought it's Jesus.
I mean, for Shias we're talking about, of course.
Yes, but you need to explain that, because normally people will know about the story of Jesus, but not about the Mahdi, who is now living in somewhere in the Sudan or something, who is then going to do the job that Jesus is supposed to do. For
Okay,
Sunnis.
well, this is what I was afraid of. We're going to need more than 20 minutes.
No,
Okay,
just 60 seconds.
Just 60 seconds, less. The Mahdi is the Shia version of the Messiah that's going to come back. He isn't dead anything. He's hiding, or there's a better word for it I can't think of right now. And
in exile.
He's in exile per se, but it could be in another dimension even. He's not dead, but he's in exile somewhere. And he is going to come back at some point, some say when everything is messed up in the world and nothing can be, all evil is there, then he'll come back. Some say he'll just come back when we bring we set up the world for him. That's what the people in the government of Iran believe. We have to set up something. Anyway, and that's the end all for the Shias. So when he comes, everything's going to be good. Now, so we're going to focus on the Sistani version of Shiism, which is just a little bit different than the other version. They believe in pretty much everything except on governmental issues. So that's why we're going to focus on Sistani and Iraqi Shias. Now, and because they're living in a democracy, quote unquote, in Iraq, so they have more freedom to say whatever they want compared to Iran. Anyway, so there is lots of difference about how they view her. First of all, they would say that she lied in lots of her things that she says.
Do they also believe that, you know, all the rest of the stuff, her family and all that?
What do you mean, like her age?
She's the daughter of Abu Bakr, who is
yes.
Muhammad. So all the basic stuff around this is all the same.
Kind of, because the thing is, you have to also realize that the Shias don't really like Abu Bakr. So they look at both of them as kind of a evil son and daughter, or evil father and daughter. So, this isn't all Shias, though. You have to realize this is. I'm giving you kind of an extreme version of some of what Shias believe. I actually went and I talked to someone who is a Shia, and he told me which parts he didn't agree with. So I can tell you the two different kinds if you want, or where they split. Now, Aisha was 18 years old when Muhammad died. Apparently, this is based on Sunni belief, and so she was married to Muhammad at 6, as she says in some hadith that my mom pulled me away from my swing and my dolls and took me to the hands of this old man, which I didn't even know, and she was so horrified. And then, but she ended up loving him so much, and this is all Sunni ideas. This is all what they pretty much the main. Most Muslims believe this because most are Sunni. And after she was 9, they had sex for the first time. So intercourse happened at 9 so they were married for 3 years. And then Muhammad died after 10 years after they were wed. So she was 18. But there's so many different numbers being thrown out here that you can't really add it up right now. If he died 10 years after wed, and she was 18, then that means they married when they were 8. If he died 10 years after they were wed and she was 16 when they married, that means she died when she was 16.
Well, if you take the 10 years literally, it could be, I don't know, 9 years and 8 months or something, and then it could still mean that she was 9 and he died when she was 18. But the point of the matter is that you have approximate dates which match those that you find in the Sunnah.
So yes, and most of it is because a lot of these are coming from the Bukhari hadiths, quoting herself. So she's talking about her own stories, and Bukhari's kind of getting it from her. Not exactly from her, but what people say, because he wasn't alive during her time, of course. During Aisha's time, there was 200 pretty much hadiths and ayahs. Ayah meaning wahy, or things that come from God to Muhammad. So verses that we know of. And most of these are in Bukhari, and most of these are about intimate sides of the Prophet. So because she was the favorite wife of the Prophet, most of these are about things that happened behind closed doors. And this is where most of the Muslim, when I say Muslim, Sunni feminists get their ideas from. Because here they see this is how our Prophet treated her favorite wife and everything. I wanted to play a short video clip. I don't think we have time, about just like a 5-minute video about a Sunni woman describing her and how she puts her in such great light, and how this is the woman of ideals and we have to follow this, her path, and she is the perfect woman, things like that, you know. And and this is also because of the things that she says about herself and Muhammad, but all these come from Bukhari. Now, the Shias don't really accept all of this. A lot of Shias reject the hadiths in Bukhari, especially this one guy that I was looking at. His name is, I can look it up if you want in a second. I'll tell you by the end of my thing. But he accepts that she was a favorite wife of him because, you know, she was a great orator. When Muhammad died, she led armies after Muhammad. She was very powerful. She she's considered the number 4th most prolific narrator of the hadith. So out of all of the hadith sayings, she is one of the most trusted sources of what happened. Now, this becomes a problem when the Shias don't believe her and they say she's lied. So if she's lied, all of this goes out the window for the Shias, but not for the Sunnis, because they think she's the shit, so to speak. Sunnis believe she's the greatest scholar ever, woman scholar of the Ummah. So there's never been a woman scholar better than her. And apparently, because she loved Muhammad so much, the way she said, she was very jealous. And this comes up in the hadiths. And her jealousy for other women comes up a lot in the hadiths. Okay. Now, the Shias, per se, will kind of say different things about the story. And they say that there's even stories about how she poisoned Muhammad, that she was the one who killed him. And her and her dad were conspiring against Muhammad, and that's why Abu Bakr became leader of the Ummah after Muhammad died, and not Ali, who was supposed to be. You know, this is all Shias. This is what the Shias believe, right? Hello?
Yeah. Okay, no. Because we're all listening carefully, because we need to. Okay, maybe some background info here. The Shias
I wish you could tell me. You know, if you could guide me.
Based on vote, but it should be on not on merit, but on descendancy, and they think there should be a heritage, or it should be blood. Well, it can't be because he was an adopted son, but they think that the only lineage of Muhammad which can continue is via Ali. And
well, it is blood because it's Ali and his descendants, because Ali married Fatima.
Yeah.
The only real offspring of Muhammad that was alive. Everything else was adopted, right?
Wasn't there another daughter, a younger daughter?
Well, was there? I thought there was another son that died.
No. There were 3 sons who died, but weren't there 2 daughters?
I'm not.
Wasn't there Fatima and somebody else? Okay, it doesn't matter. We're talking about Aisha. So the thing is that the Shias think that it should be Ali and Fatima and their descendants.
Yes,
who should be
but
the
thing
heritage,
is,
lineage.
Yes. I think it's very interesting though, because when you look at this, how do you call this? This wifey story. What is this? Like, we call these wife and sister stories in Iran. This is just stupid gossip stories, pretty much, right? A lot of this is about gossip stories relating to her. when I read all of this, it made me think that, okay, maybe the whole secession thing wasn't about it's either his descendants or someone that gets chosen. It's not a chance that Abu Bakr got chosen when he was the dad of Aisha. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yes. And it's just a different version, yeah.
Right. So, anyway, I'm going to pass all this part. So there's stories of her cheating, okay? There's stories of her, they say that one day there's a story that one day some guy comes up and asks, how do I wash myself properly? And she takes him into her house and shows him herself how to wash properly.
Not the old washing trick.
Apparently, she was such a innocent girl that she had no idea what his intentions were. Anyway, but there's stories like this where she's hanging around with people behind Muhammad's back, and so Ali, which is married to Fatima and is Shias believe is the closest person to Muhammad, did not like her. So we can also take everything the Shias say with a lot of grains of salt, because in the beginning he was against her. So who knows what side to trust, right? Now, one thing that I think is very interesting is Aisha was younger than Muhammad's daughter. So Ali is married to Fatima, Muhammad's only daughter, or not, yeah, I don't know if it's the only daughter, but Muhammad's daughter, and Muhammad goes and marries a younger girl who becomes more influential than Muhammad's own older daughter. So, do you know what I'm saying? So this can get very intimate, and I can see a lot of hate in this family. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, it can become into a bitch fight, yes.
Like, I mean, I'm just thinking about stories that I know from older family members about, this guy, his wife died, and he went and got a new wife, and then all the daughters hated that new wife.
Yeah. Didn't they have mud wrestling in those days?
I have no idea. I hope
this is out once and for all. Who's in charge?
I hope it was with bikinis. And I hope it was.
They were just not. I mean, this is the human factor that is
exactly
coming through here.
Exactly. And I think this is the most interesting parts. These intimate inter-family problems really get you to see how such a, it was a messed up family, really. Anyway, so okay, so there's a part where Aisha says there's a Bukhari saying that says Aisha has said that Muhammad was bewitched for 6 months by the Jews. Of course, it was by the Jews. Who else would it be? And he was very delusional, and he was completely delusional, and it was bewitched by the magic of the Satan by the Jews. And he was controlled by the Satan. So this is all in Bukhari. For 6 months, Muhammad was like this. Now, Shias think, what the hell is she talking about? How can the prophet of God had chosen him because he can never have any problems? This is the most purest person. That's why God chose him. How can he have be bewitched for 6 months and be completely delusional and all that shit and all that? And this is where I've heard that this Shia cleric say she might have been poisoning him. And this is where they were controlling him. So there's a story where Muhammad is lying there really sick in his deathbed, not in his deathbed, but pretty much at the end of his life, the last months. And then he says, hey, I have to say something, I have to announce something, and bring me a paper to write on. I'm not sure if he wants to write on it himself or if he asks someone else to write on it. But then who's sitting next to him? It's Aisha, Omar, and Abu Bakr, and maybe some other person, but I'm not sure if Ali was there. I think Ali was there. Omar, who is the most aggressive and the alpha male of the group, pretty much, is like, no, don't worry about it. He's just saying rubbish. So there's stories of Muhammad trying to say things at the end of it, but them trying to keep it down. You know? And the Shias believe that it was a Aisha, Abu Bakr, and Omar kind of friendship slash conspiracy that got this to happen. Now, there's also stories about how she used filthy language all the time. So apparently there is I'm not sure if this is a hadith or a surah. I don't think it's a surah, but where Muhammad says, you know, do not be, or God says, do not have nasty words coming. And this only came because Aisha was such a dirty mouthed whore, you know, in the words of the Shia. Not to disrespect any Sunnis. Do you know what I'm saying? So they had to say, hey, control your mouth. She was, and this shows me that she was out and about a lot. If you have a dirty mouth, that means you're in the streets a lot. You hang out with people who talk like this. Okay. I mean, where else are you going to get it from Muhammad himself? If she was like a normal wife and stayed in the house all the time, she wouldn't be picking up words like this.
So, what is the summary then?
So the summary is that they...
Because we are already over time.
Oh, we are. Fuck.
Oh shit, you didn't even do half your notes. Oh, shame.
I still have like a whole page of notes. But anyway, the summary is that the Shias do not trust anything, none of the sources in Bukhari about Aisha, because they think she's a liar. And they even say that she wasn't married when she was 6. She was married at least after 9. Some say she was married when she was 18 or 19, which is kind of hard to believe. But they completely disregard the 6-year-old thing, and they say that that only comes from her hadiths and trying to make herself look very innocent in the situation. And I guess I can end it there in a way.
Okay, brilliant. So we have answered the question by making it very clear that nobody knows.
Nobody knows. I mean, making it very clear that everyone has disagreements. Both sides have huge disagreements. And for the Shia, this disagreement about Aisha leads to their disagreement about who should lead. And, you know, lots of them believe that she poisoned Muhammad. With her dad's knowing, of course. How could it not?
Well, and then there's also the story that she was not mourning enough when Omar was killed. So there's different aspects there as well. Okay, then we have just learned that our structure needs to be modified.
Yes.
We need to put, if we have a topic, we need to put this at the beginning.
Yes.
I am extremely happy that there is a lot more interest than there was before, that we have a lot of more interaction with people, which I think is brilliant. So your whole thing of 6 o'clock in the evening was a good move. So
I think,
I'm very happy with that.
Right before we end, though, I want to share a short video, if that's okay.
Yeah, and then afterwards, we'll just have closing words from Ike and TJ.
Okay.
No, let me speak first. Okay.
Let's have closing words first, and then we'll do this at the end, and we'll shut it out right after this.
Okay, can I say it? I just wanted to mention the older sister is named Asma of Aisha, if anybody is interested in that. And
what did you say?
The older sister of Aisha is...
No, we were looking for the sister of Fatima.
Of Fatima? No. Okay. No, what? That her name, I don't know.
Is there another sister of Fatima?
I don't think so. Fatima, I don't think so. Anyway, and the other thing is, I just wanted to share the mentality of the Shias today in real life. I had a little discussion once on YouTube and about Muhammad, and she defended. It was her. She defended Muhammad like hell, and that Aisha wasn't that young, etc. And I showed her the hadiths, and after I showed the hadiths, she just said, "Aisha is a fucking lying bitch." That's the mentality of Shias today.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. I should have just summarized my whole thing into that.
Yeah. It would have saved us 20 minutes. All right. Alasa, give us the hadith of the week. Hit us.
All right. There are two hadiths that kind of go together. Here's the first one. They're very, very short. One of them is Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith 1493. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Narrated by Aisha, the things which annul prayer were mentioned before me, and those were a dog, a donkey, and a woman. I said that you have compared us to women and donkeys. Got that? Go. All right. The second one, which I'm going to post it, the second one that's related to this is Al-Asakul, Book 1, Volume 9, narrated Aisha. Do you make us women equal to dogs and donkeys? While I used to lie in my bed, the Prophet would come and pray facing the middle of the bed. I used to consider it's not good to stand in front of his prayers, so I used to slip away slowly and quietly from the foot of the bed until I got out of my guilt. I feel sorry for this girl.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Now you know a lot more about Aisha, and more than you ever dared to ask.
Hopefully, yes. Hopefully I didn't too much crazy.
Okay, Alasa, thank you very much for that.
Thank you. It was great. I love that new time.
And then we look forward to now. What do I do with my new collection that I got? Shit, we need to take turns. Once you and once me, because I got.
Okay, you go next week.
And I'll go next week.
Yeah, but don't forget. You usually forget.
No, I never forget. It's just that then you bring all these nice ones, and then I leave it to you because I know that I can do this next time.
Okay, well, you're on next week.
I'm on next week.
All right.
How about this? You both bring your favorite one, and then we'll vote which one.
I don't want competition.
I think competition will bring some good spice. Come on, capitalism.
All right. Well, anyway, next week I got something to say about the Shia as well, so I'll mention it. Very interesting.
Okay.
Oh goodness. Okay.
All right.
So I think next week we're going to talk about the attacks and the terrorist attacks, and we're going to go back maybe to the Charlie Hebdo thing a little bit, and I think that will bring a little bit.
Well, then a week later, I got it on my notes.
Okay.
All right. Have a good guys.
Thanks.
Cheers. TJ, last thoughts.
Yeah, thank you for changing the time, for sure. It does work out better for me, so, props to you guys. But, I don't know, I mean, I think that these attacks in, Copenhagen are just another attack on freedom. We need to stand up and, not be silent, We need to criticize bad ideas at the end of the day. And, this provides an outlet to do that, so. As long as we keep doing this, we shouldn't be having a problem. But if people are scared to speak out, if people don't have the balls to speak out, if people are silenced, we're just gonna slowly lose everything.
Okay.
I agree. I agree. Thank you.
So everybody,
thanks,
please.
TJ. So we'll see you next week again.
Yep.
Brilliant
Sounds
stuff.
good.
Because this is a very good point that TJ is making. But the thing is, how do we get Muslims to do it? Because Muslims, at the end of the day, are the owners, and this is what we need to do. I don't know how. Just by this little PP show, just making a couple of comments is not going to change it. I don't know how we're going to change the major impact that we shake Muslims that they need to do something, because they are the people that own this. They are the people that can change it. I don't think that we can. I don't think they're going to take an atheist serious. It's not the atheist who is going to change something. It's going to be the Muslims inside Islam who will need to change this, I think.
But I think that they will change to the reaction they get from everyone else, and the only thing we can do is educate those who are not educated about Islam.
Arash, at the moment, all I'm getting is yes, but. It's always this but. And this is the problem.
That's what they always say.
And
you
this
can't
is what
expect
needs to
them
fucking
to
change. Exactly.
But no. The thing is, I think maybe this is more for those liberals who we talked about earlier, who think that everything is peaches. And if we can get them on our side, then maybe the Muslims will not be able to use political correctness, and then we'll have another stage in this debate.
Okay, Irshad Manji. Do you know Irshad Manji?
Yes.
Okay, she is the one who's screaming reform. Majid Nawaz screaming reform. All these people are screaming reform. Then you have oh shit. Why do I have a problem with names? Who was the evolution imam in the London mosque? Anyway, him. He's saying reform, but nothing happens because these are only, like a few people. It's a handful of people that are screaming reform. It needs to be more people need to be shaken and woken up. This is the problem.
I
Anyway,
totally
we're not going to
agree
change
with
it
you.
today. This is it. This is the Gin and Tonic show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time. We're going to come back next week.
Join us next time.
1800 UCT.
So 1 o'clock Eastern American time.
Is it 1 o'clock Eastern American time?
1 p.m.
Standard. Anyway, I'm going to update the links, which are going to reflect next week's date and time. So I'm going to put one which is just going to be a conversion, and one is going to be a countdown timer, which is going to tell you how long it is until the next show is, so you know exactly when this thing is going to stop. And next week is going to be beautiful weather, and Arash does not get stuck in snow or anything, and we're going to talk about something else. Okay,
Yes,
this is the Gin and Tonic show. See you next week. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.